Hello and welcome to episode 3 of The Red Room. In this episode, slight departure from what we usually do, I'm going to go out on the motorbike. I have a lovely Triumph Tiger Adventure 1200 motorbike with all the panniers, so I can take all the kit with me. And I thought today we'd take a trip up to Llanthony Priory, which is just north of Abergavenny in South Wales. And I thought we'd go on an adventure with the my Olympus OM2 Spot program. And the OM2, this OM2 Spot program is particularly close to my heart. It's a camera I used to have back in 1985, and the first camera, proper 35mm camera I ever had, and really professional piece of kit. It was it came out after the Olympus OM4 and the OM3, and I think inherited the same shutter as the OM4 and OM3, and it had a top shutter speed of 2000 per second. So a very professional piece of kit, very nice, and lovely Zico lenses, which are always very sharp and all really good. So this particular camera, as you can see, is has a program mode, and the program mode, there's a lever here, program mode, an aperture priority mode, and a manual mode. Now in program mode and in aperture priority mode, it was center weighted metering, but in manual mode, it had a spot metering function, which was really very lovely, and is a really great thing. And today also we're going to be using Ilford XP2 film. Ilford XP2 is a great film, great beginner's film, because you can rate XP2. It's a C41 process, and you can rate Ilford XP2 between 100 ISO and 800 ISO on the same roll of film. So it's very forgiving in its exposure latitude, and it's also a very fine grain film. So it's a really good film to start on your black and white adventures. And this here also is my Olympus OM4, and it's in immaculate condition, unlike my Olympus OM2, which gets knocked quite a bit. But had the original box, and this is a lovely camera, and it had the beauty about the Olympus OM4 was the fact that it had a multi-spot metering system, so you could take up to 7 spot meter readings, and it had a memory, and then it would work out the optimum exposure from those meter readings. And you have also a highlight and shadow exposure bias here, so you could expose for your highlights or expose for shadows when it was working out the exposure for you. But I suppose really spot metering was superseded by when Nikon brought out the Nikon FA, which was a manual program shutter priority and aperture priority camera, but it had the multi-segment metering, which I think Nikon pioneered, and that sort of superseded the spot metering system, and it was far simpler for the photographer to handle, because you weren't taking meter readings, so it was very spontaneous and much quicker to use. But the Olympuses are still fantastic, and the beauty about Olympus was the fact that it was a system camera, proper professional system camera, as you can see by this lineup, this picture here on the back of the brochures. Now these brochures are from about 1983, I suppose, and they're lovely things to have. This is the OM system, and you can see the extent of the system and all the cameras that were used. They made from the OM10 all the way through to the OM4 and the OM3, and all the motor drives and bulk film holders, and it was really quite an extensive camera system, which is very good indeed. And you had all the lenses, lens charts, and they made filters, and you had a very extensive lens lineup, as you can see, all the way from telephoto lenses to fisheye lenses. And I also have an Olympus OM4 brochure, which is this one, which is lovely. And again, it's a brochure of its time, 1983. So the images were of the period, and it's a very lovely thing to have. And this page is actually quite good because you can see here the viewfinder that you get on the OM4, and it's very similar on the OM2 SP. The LCD on the OM2 SP is here, but the centre spot is where you do your spot meter reading, and you could work out your meter readings from there. And obviously spot metering is what Ansel Adams used for the zone system. And actually, I have Ansel Adams used to use a Pentax 1 degree spot meter with a needle, and I have one of those, so we're going to explore that in a future episode, so stay tuned for that. But the Olympus system is a lovely system, really professional, and is a great camera to use. So without further ado, let's get on the motorbike and make our way up to Llanthony Priory. Such a beautiful place, so old. I shall put some details about it in the description below. It is very tranquil and beautiful, between two valleys on that side, or a valley between two mountains, of course. I thought this was quite interesting. Between the trees this side, bushes that side, and it sort of nestles in this space. Just quite a nice little composition. So let's unpack the Olympus. The lens a bit of a clean. So here we are back in the studio after our adventure on the motorbike to Llanthony Abbey, and this is the result of one of the images. It was a shame that the clouds didn't break to get the blue sky so you could see the difference between a red filter with a red filter and without a red filter, but the actual clouds, it was quite dark in the background anyway behind the abbey, so the clouds are quite dark in the final print because the sun was directly on the abbey, and then you had this so the actual background was quite dark. The final print looks really good. I think the image is fine, but the actual XP2 Super has performed very well. Super fine grain, and I will do a scan of the 35mm neg for you to be able to download in the next week or so you can have a look at it in a bit more detail. Looking forward to the next episode, where it may be a collaboration with somebody, and we'll be chatting together. But we'll just wait and see on that one. I'm not too sure what's going to happen yet, but hopefully it'll be fun, and you'll enjoy it. And until the next episode, I hope you have a good week, and you take care. Cheerio.